Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Grant for One for Review, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Today we are going to be looking at some anime that I won't be able to get to. Now, today I've called this episode Anime Season Catch Up because we're catching up on a few anime that I've personally watched that I probably won't be able to do a review on in the future. I have tons of anime reviews that I'm already planning on doing, and unfortunately I won't have the time to talk about these ones that I'm going to be talking about here. Now, not every anime that I've watched this season will be on this list. Like I said, I'm going to review a lot more in the future. But these are just a few that I wanted to talk about, give you guys some ideas that I have, and what has been going on with these anime recently, and if they're good, if they're not, if I recommend it, you know the drill. And I'll probably tell you what's the preferred way to watch it. So, let's get started. First on the list is A Promised Neverland. You guys have probably heard me talk about this before. I mentioned it in maybe a few other videos, maybe two that I could think of specifically, where I talk about this season's new anime. But I really haven't gotten too much in depth into it, and unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to do a review on it, which does suck. But A Promised Neverland is a show that's better left not described at all, and better left to a mystery. You should really just watch it so then you could be surprised to what happens. Now, I will say it is a horror anime, that much I can say. And I have to say, when it comes to horror anime, I'm very neutral towards it. It can be either really, really disturbing, or it could be just kind of cringy and just kind of like, well, we're a bit try-hard. And, well, I didn't expect this at all to be try-hard, nor did I expect it to be scary. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know this was a horror anime to begin with. I was very surprised to watch it. And it is a really great show. I really enjoy it so far. So far, there's only 6 episodes that have been released. I could be wrong. 6 is from the last time I checked. And out of those 6, I've only watched 4 of them, mainly because I haven't been able to catch up with it in the last recent 2 weeks. That being said, I do really like this show. It is really, really good. In terms of animation, it's great, and I do like the characters. And it is a show that I would recommend other people to check out. Personally, for me, the show is really disturbing, and it reminds me a lot of another show that I will flash on screen right now, which had some really disturbing stuff in it as well, which kind of led to me not wanting to watch the rest of that series. And yeah, I watched like probably 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And Promised Neverland, while it's not like that, I probably won't stop watching it, but at times it is really disturbing for me. And if anybody who knows who I am in real life, it's probably easy to tell why I find it so disturbing. So it's one of those shows that really bothers me the most and really just gets under my skin. But that means that I still like it, and I am very much invested into it, and I can't wait to watch it. So I would recommend it if you guys want to get into something new, something horror related. Check out A Promised Neverland. Next up is Magical Girl Spec Ops. What was I thinking when I watched this? Now, I saw this on Crunchyroll. I just took a gamble with it. Really didn't expect much of it. So, yeah, I just kind of saw the title and said, hey, this might look fun. Now, there are plenty of magical girl shows out there that are very serious and even dark and mature. One of them being Madoka Magica is a very, very dark series that is definitely not for children. And when I went into that show, which it is a terrific show, I definitely did not expect how it was going to be, and it was kind of crazy. And it's a very serious show, and it's really good. Now, when it comes to Magical Girl Spec Ops, I really had no expectations. I just kind of saw Magical Girl Spec Ops, and they had guns, so I was like, okay, fine, I guess I'll check it out. And when I saw, I was not impressed, and it's decent, I guess. Anybody remember when I did that video on Girly Air Force? What a great video that was. Anyways, getting back to Girly Air Force, so I mentioned in my original video of this that I would do a review on it. I won't be able to, and I don't think I'll even be able to finish the show. Now, at the time, I had only watched 3 episodes. Now there's been 7, and they are not getting better. The show is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's not the worst thing in the world, like I said in my initial first impressions. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's just nothing special. And it's just really generic and really lame, and just, it's so boring. It's so boring. It's very painful to watch. Unlike, say, Goblin Slayer that I watched, like, last season, it had something that kept me coming back, and it had moments of enjoyable stuff. But here, the most enjoyable stuff in it is, at times, they have some funny animation, but other than that, It's not a particularly funny show, and the characters aren't likable. The girls aren't likable, and the guy is not charismatic. So it's kind of like, what's the point of having a harem if there's nobody who's charismatic? It's very annoying. I don't particularly like the show, and I don't think I'll be able to finish it. It's just so boring, and there's really nothing special about it. So that's really all I have to say about it. I still don't recommend it, guys. So for those of you who have not watched it still, continue to not watch it. Next up is Boogie Pop. I won't lie, when I first went into Boogie Pop, I had no idea of the backstory of Boogie Pop. I didn't know that it was something pre-existing. I mainly just saw a poster that looked cool in anime, and I was like, okay, that looks interesting. And then I watched it, and I was a little bit confused by the first episode, but after understanding the entire plot and theme that the show is going for, it is a lot more enjoyable to watch. And I do enjoy Boogie Pop quite a bit. However, it's not something that I would continue watching episodically, if that makes sense. This is more of a show that I would recommend people watch once it's completely out. Like, once it's fully out, just binge watch it. That's probably the best way to watch it. It doesn't really feel like an episodic series, and it doesn't really treat itself that way, except for the last 4 episodes that have had the same plot. So other than that, I would say if you want to watch this one, it is a really good anime. It's got great animation, good characters. Although I would recommend watching this once it's all out and then just binge watching it. It is really interesting, and I do personally like it. I won't have time to review it, unfortunately, and I don't really think I have the necessary knowledge of Boogie Pop to properly review it, but hey, that's just my opinion, right? Next up, we're going to be moving on to an anime that I have absolutely not seen anything practically. Kakaguri Season 2. I have not seen anything on this other than the first episode in pure Japanese with no subtitles. And as for someone who is learning Japanese and who knows Japanese at least a little bit, while I can tell what's going on for the most part, it does get confusing and I get lost. So I don't really feel like watching the rest of the series in just Japanese without subtitles. I do know that maybe my teachers would say, watch it in Japanese. It'll be good practice. To that, I say to hell with you, and I will not do that. Anyways, getting back to the actual point. Kakaguri XX, as it is called, the title, it's actually just Season 2, is a follow-up to Season 1 that came out, I think, around 2017, if I remember correctly. Goddamn. I really loved the first season of Kakaguri. It was one of my favorite anime that year, and it's just a really good show in general. And Season 2, I couldn't wait for it, but of course it had to be on Netflix. And for anybody who knows, Netflix takes forever in getting anime on their site. They don't release episodes like episodically per the week. They release it once it's already done. So once the anime season's over, that's when it's going to be all officially out. Now, you're probably wondering how I was able to watch it in general. I just watched the Japanese Netflix, which it has it there, and you can find most anime there. But like I said, it's only in Japanese, and it only has Japanese subtitles. So if you're not even at least a little bit familiar with even if you're a little bit familiar with the language, you probably won't be able to get through the entire season of Kakaguri like that. I saw the first episode. It's pretty good, I guess, but other than that, I'm just waiting for Netflix to release the show. And the reason why I won't be able to review it is because they're taking so long, and I don't feel like binge watching a bunch of episodes when Netflix finally decides to put it out there. So I don't know. I'll watch it when it comes out. I can't wait to watch it. Maybe I'll do some sort of video on it, but it's definitely not going to be a review. And this is really all my thoughts on it. And can I recommend it? I have no clue. I mean, if you can get a hold of it, more power to you. Godspeed. Enjoy the show. The first time I heard of Domestic Girlfriend, I heard on it through an article that completely screwed up the premise of the show. And I mean really screwed up. It was telling like some weird story that just didn't happen, and was saying why this was a bad show for you to watch. You know, like you have those articles all the time, you know, yeah, this is a bad thing. Agree with me. Follow my narrative. It's like, shut up. No one cares. Domestic Girlfriend, good show. That's really all I have to say about it. I don't really have much else to add other than I've enjoyed it. and I can't wait to see the end of it. It's a very interesting show, that's to say the least. It's a very interesting story to tell. It's very unique in that I've never heard a story like this. So, I mean, that's some praise if I've ever heard any. I've never heard a story like this, so it's pretty original in that sense. Although, for those who are not into weird, serious romances, you're probably not going to be into something like this. So, yeah, would I recommend it? I mean, if you want, go ahead. I really don't have much to say about Domestic Girlfriend now I think about it. It's not my favorite show of the season, and it's not my least favorite show of the season. It's just a show I've watched, and that's really all I can say about it, unfortunately. I know some people might love this, and others might hate it. I'm just kind of in the middle of, it's a good show, and I want to see the end. That's all I have to say for Domestic Girlfriend. Can I recommend it? I mean, if you're interested, go ahead. The final anime that I have been watching as of this season that I won't be able to talk about is How Clumsy You Are, Miss Uneo. This is a show that I watched, actually came across very recently. I came across it once it was already 4 episodes into the series, and I really like it. It's a comedy, of course, because that's all I care about nowadays. And of course, it's another comedy on sort of a romance, except not really a romance, more of a somebody trying to confess their love. I don't know why I love those shows. I mean, first Love is War is just a great show, and then now this one, I just love it. The reason why I love these shows so much is just that I always hear the stories about the confession of love. At least for my Japanese friends, it's always just kind of weird what they say. I mean, granted, it's not, I'm not going to say it's not weird to confess your love to somebody. I mean, it's just normal. But it's always, they always have some funny stories where it's like, oh yeah, I had to take her to this place, and then I confessed, but then I was so nervous and I took a knee. It's like, no, what are you doing? Get up! Don't be an idiot. You look like a fool. I don't know. It just kind of reminds me of those situations, and How Clumsy You Are, Miss Uneo is kind of one of those things. You know, Uneo being like this genius scientist, president of the science club, but her biggest problem in life is that she cannot confess her love to her crush. That's her biggest problem. I also love this show that because it's so short. It's only 12 minutes, the episodes, and yeah, they're just really short, really sweet. It's just a funny series. That's really all I could say about it, and I enjoy it personally, and I do recommend other people watch it if you are into comedies, especially comedies about girls trying to confess their loves to a guy. I love those personally because they're just funny. And this is just another one that's just really funny. I love the voice acting behind Uneo as well. She's very, very funny. And I don't know, it's just funny situations. And it's not really a story that you follow. It's just funny skits within episodes. And that's pretty much it. And all the episodes are around 12 to 13 minutes long. So it's not too long, honestly. So at the end of the day, I would recommend How Clumsy You Are, Miss Uneo. I would recommend you guys check it out. You can watch it on various streaming platforms, Crunchyroll being one of them. I'm sorry I didn't mention all the platforms that I watched the other anime. They're all on Crunchyroll except for Kakaguri Season 2. That's the only one that's not on Netflix, to my knowledge. That's only on Netflix, to my knowledge. Maybe there's something else on Netflix. I don't usually use Netflix. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this anime season catch-up. I hope to do more of these, I mean, in other anime seasons, and so there's probably going to be 4 episodes like this every year. That's the hoping, at least. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Do you guys, are you interested in any of the anime that I've talked about? I know some of them I didn't give a lot of details, and that is on purpose. That is so then you guys can experience the show for yourself. I don't want to give away the plots of some of these, especially shows like I Promised Neverland and Domestic Girlfriend. It just kind of ruins the plot. Oh, and Boogie Pop as well. It just kind of ruins the story if I give away anything. So those are just my feelings on these shows that I've been watching. I won't be able to do reviews on them in the future, unfortunately. But I hope you guys can check these out on your own, or not check them out based on my opinions that I've given. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for joining me on One for Review. As always, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.